Hello, hello. What's up,
Hey.
Shine fam?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to ShineMine's first ever AMA Ask Me Anything. And I will be your host. I'm Maria Goddard. I'm the community manager here with ShineMine. And this is Adam Enamorado and Noah Newman. They are the co-founders of ShineMine. We're very excited and honored to have you guys here with us today. And so just to get things started, tell us a little bit about how you guys met and how you decided to, why you decided to collaborate to start ShineMine.
Yeah, sure. I guess I can start on that. So Noah and I go back a long time. The two of us have been in business in Baton Rouge area, and it's kind of a pretty tiny town when it comes to anyone who's actually up to anything. So I got this idea that it was going to be good to put the money to work. How could I do that with crypto mining? And after just discussing it more and more, this idea kind of came to be, and it's been crazy, but here we are.
Yeah, no, we go back a ways, and we really just wanted to enter in, more in depth to the crypto space, and we'd both been in crypto for several years, and the opportunity presented itself, and it just made sense.
Absolutely, love it. So, what was it about the problem that you saw within crypto mining that you wanted to solve? Why did you create Shine specifically?
Yeah, so the vision behind that, is if you look at what Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin, what his original intent was, it was that home computer systems all around the world could process these transactions and mine cryptocurrencies. And you look at what it's become, it's really become a centralized organization of large corporations, kind of creating a monopoly in that regard. At ShineMine, what we wanted to do is we wanted to take a large-scale mining operation and all the benefits that come with it and make it accessible to the everyday investor.
Absolutely. So if there's someone that sees a vision and really wants to get involved, how can they buy ShineMine? Can they buy it from the site? How does that work?
Yeah, so if you go, it has a link to Pancake Swap. So if you get onto there, I actually have instructions broadcasted in the Telegram and all of our communities. That gives us step by step. But yeah, it's live on Pancake Swap. You just go there, you enter in the contract address, and you exchange your BNB to get into Shine token.
Speaking of pancakes, what's y'all's favorite food? What you like to get into?
Pancakes.
I mean, look, we're down South Louisiana. I'm a seafood guy. At the end of the day, give me some good boiled seafood, and I'm happy.
Man, speaking of, it's April, so it's crawfish time. It's been
Right.
on everyone's Instagrams. I
Hell
haven't
yeah.
gotten to get any this past week, but because I've been out of town in Iowa, getting our equipment connected, but I'm home again, and crawfish is up on the menu this next week
Good.
for sure. Holla.
Hey, I love crawfish. You get that 11-pound bag for yourself. But okay, you said you were in Iowa. Why Iowa? Why were you guys up there?
Yeah, so Iowa's got due to their wind energy that they produce there, they've got some really competitive rates. So we've been able to develop, just some good partnerships over the last several months. Good relationships with some suppliers, and we were able to secure a pretty favorable contract. That's very competitive in the industry at a hosting facility in Iowa.
Nice.
So that's why, if anyone saw any of our content that we kind of trickled out a little bit over the weekend, we were there. We were setting up our first batch of rigs, and we're going to be hosting there until the facility here in Louisiana is up and running. So
Awesome.
exciting.
Yes, indeed. I saw the picture with the snow. I was like, oh my gosh. So y'all don't
Glad
need
to be out of
fans.
there. Yeah, I
Right?
was not built to be in the snow and not used to it, but equipment loves it because it's trying to be kept cold, right? Which is a challenge in the state of Louisiana. So a part of the expenses here when it comes to beginning a mining operation is keeping the equipment cold. That's not a problem in Iowa. So that combined with the cheap rates, I mean, ultimately, when it comes to mining, anyone experienced is going to be able to tell you this too. It all comes down to the energy rate. That's the only important thing, because if you have good energy, your equipment can be profitable, and that's why you mine.
Absolutely. So why did you guys decide to launch on Binance chain? Like, I've heard this is obviously a question that was submitted. I've heard rumors that a lot of Binance chain coins are scams.
Yeah, so I guess it really comes down to, we knew ShineMine was going to be very transaction heavy due to the reward structure. All right, so we knew that there's going to be, hundreds, thousands of transactions that we're having to perform weekly. So we needed to launch on a chain that supported very low cost, speedy, efficient transactions. And it really came down to Binance Chain, Matic, and Sol. Those are kind of the three that stood out. And in that regard, Binance Chain was the biggest, largest market cap, one. The most stable in our opinion. And also, when we were launching our pre-sale, our local area here in the Baton Rouge area was familiar with Binance Chain. There were some other projects that had launched on Binance Chain. So a lot of people were already familiar, how to use PancakeSwap, how to get BNB coin, and so forth. So it just made the most sense.
Nice. So another question, what is being done to ensure the healthy size of the liquidity pool in order to protect the price of Shine?
Okay, so liquidity comes as the project grows. So what are we doing? I mean, all that anyone can do is to increase the community growth, right? So how do we go about doing that? By marketing, of course, but by improving the operations, improving the actual mining operation part of it, and then for the community to spread the word.
Nice, awesome. Did you want to add anything to that, Noah?
No, I mean that really is it. Liquidity is going to come as we develop this project, which we're doing continually, day in and day out. As it continually gets developed, and as just more meat kind of gets added onto it, it's going to sell itself. We're going to continue to pour the fuel on the fire in terms of marketing. But at the end of the day, the liquidity will come, as this project just continues to develop and we get it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to understand. More liquidity comes from more holders, period.
So,
yes. I believe. To the moon we go.
Diamond hands, baby.
Yes. So when will the website be updated to show the new staking tiers for BNB rewards?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked. Those updates are live right now. So if anyone goes there, they will be able to see them.
Yep.
Perfect. So another question. Why did you guys make the decision to institute staking?
Good question. So originally, we had kind of gone back and forth on it and how we were going to implement the reward structure. As we really looked at a lot of our competition in the space, in the DeFi space specifically, one of the number one selling points out there is something called TVL. That's total value locked. All right. That's it shows the stability and the strength really of a project. That's how much of your actual liquidity with your underlying asset and the actual token itself do you have locked up, moving forward into the future. And that's something that's really important in this space that we're in. So it just made sense for us to implement a staking structure. And obviously, the longer you are willing to lock that liquidity, the bigger those rewards are going to be.
Absolutely. So another question that was submitted was, when is the DApp expected to go live? And for those who don't know what DApp is, DAPP, how would you explain that?
Yeah, so the DApp is it is a decentralized application that's going to be coming to our website. All right. Similar to the process right now to buy Shine, you've got to go to PancakeSwap and connect your Trust wallet to it or any of your decentralized wallets. It's going to be the same process. You're going to go to our website. You are going to go to the Launch App section of our website, connect that DApp, connect your wallet to it, and you'll be able to perform the staking functions. And we're hoping to also have some direct sales going on the website as well. As far as the timeline goes, we are shooting for May 1st. So we're about 30 days out. We are trying hard to deliver on that. and excited for it.
Yay. Adam, were you about to say something?
Well, I was going to explain all of that, but you got it. He knocked it out the park. Yeah, look, it's going to be up there May 1. That's our goal. That's under a month, by the way. So under a month, and people are going to be claiming rewards, which is kind of the point of the project.
So,
Yes, absolutely. So how many rigs does ShineMine currently have?
Yeah, so currently we're at 10 rigs. It's what's getting connected in Iowa, or has gotten connected as of yesterday, actually. And all of those rigs are actively hashing. And there's others coming on the way. We're going to continue to add to that every week. But as of now, it's at 10 actively hashing rigs.
So how many rigs do you expect? Like right now we're at 10. How many do you expect to have actively hashing when the D app goes live?
When the D app goes live, at the end of 30 days here, I think a good goal would probably be for 25 to 30. And then by the end of the 90-day first unlock period, the target for that has been 50 rigs.
Okay, let's go.
Currently, I think we're on pace to hit that. So we're going to be seeing that exponentially start to pick up some steam here.
Perfect. So what is the maximum rig capacity of the mining facility, and when do you expect to reach that capacity? Are there plans to expand to additional sites?
Okay, so the question about capacity has kind of been touched on earlier. Through strategic partners, the capacity's as big as it can possibly go. So capacity isn't an issue in regards to being able to get this equipment up and deployed and running. And yeah, and it's going to continue to grow as the project grows. The capacity will always be there because Noah and I are continuing to go out there and to get, either, I mean, it could be in Iowa, it could be in Louisiana, but just being able to connect with locations that are available and able to offer us a competitive rate to get deployed at. Yeah, I mean, in the immediate, it could be hundreds of rigs, it could be thousands of rigs. The capacity's there for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That it really is the sky's the limit as far as capacity. We've been networking here, and we've been building some great relationships over the last few months with a lot of hosting facilities. And that's the beauty of ShineMine, is that we're not tied to any one facility. We can pick up our rigs and we can put them anywhere in the world, wherever we can get a good rate. So, regulations coming out, might temporarily, get us offline, but we can be flexible here, and we can get our rigs up and hashing and continue this operation from anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Bitcoin. You can't turn us off. You can try.
Hey, I love that. So another question. Marketing thus far has not attracted many new wallets. What is the next phase of marketing going to look like, and how can we help?
Absolutely. So far, I'd say we're on pace. With our current project goals. I think we launched with like 40 wallets. Currently, we're at 350. Now, obviously, we need to keep bringing in the liquidity week in and week out. But the goal right now has been to develop, kind of behind the scenes and get the actual product out there. And I feel like we're getting pretty close on that. From here, we're going to start stepping into some partnerships with some influencers that are really going to be a big boost to us, tapping into some of their communities. We've got our coin market cap listing coming. It could literally come any day now. It's just a waiting game. But all of these things, they're going to be huge as far as just getting us out there. And as we continue to really just kind of build some meat on this project and continue to develop it out, we're going to be able to market ourselves. This project really does sell itself.
Awesome. So someone said, please explain how a stake wins whether the price of Shine goes up or down.
Adam, you want to take that, or you want me to?
All right. So the cool part about us, right, is that the entire project is built off of you getting paid rewards. So if more people are getting into the project, right, it's going to cause the price of the coin to increase. As that goes down, that gives us the opportunity to then pull a bit of liquidity to go out and get extra equipment and increasing the total rewards pool. So if it goes up in value, then you're going to get paid more rewards. If it decreases, then that's because then that could only be because people are getting out, right? So these are people who aren't going to be claiming off of the pool anymore, but the pool isn't going anywhere. So like you're still going to get, those rewards, and the APY then should increase because it isn't changing the total amount of BNB being created by the equipment whenever the price goes down. So it's kind of cool because it's like the project's going to grow and it's going to over time increase the floor because of the continued reinvestment growth.
Yeah. So selling out, it can hurt the token price in the immediate, but that's not going to take away from the actual mining operation, the actual rewards that are being generated, paid out to us and you guys, the token holders. At the end of the day, the less people holding, the higher the APYs are going to be. The more people holding, the more expensive the token price is going to be. So that's why we say, you really do kind of win either way. The key is just getting in early. If you get in early, your APYs are only going to increase continually. As the operation increases, we are reinvesting 50% into the operation to grow that rewards pool. So, if we never sold another token from today on forward, APYs would continually increase just because that's the way the operation's structured to grow.
Yeah, so basically you only lose if you get out of the project. If you stay in eventually, because because it is like connected to actual equipment, that's creating actual reward value. It's going to always end up as a win if you just if you hold.
That's it. Time in hands.
Hodl. Hodl.
Hodl.
So I know you guys said that it could be any day that you expect to be listed on CoinMarketCap, but someone also asked, is this what will finally show the value of Shine in Trust Wallet?
So Trust Wallet does not add a token until it gets to 10,000 holders. All right, so we got a little ways to go. But the CoinMarketCap listing is going to help us a lot of places. It's going to get us a lot of notoriety on a lot of other sites. A lot of other sites will automatically add us on there to their listing portals. But Trust Wallet itself does not add automatically, your ticker and register the price and all that until you get to 10,000 holders. So let's get our count up.
Let's go. So speaking of being listed, when do you expect to be listed on a centralized exchange, and why is that important to Shine's growth?
Yeah, so for starters, it's important because it increases our exposure. It also makes it easier for people to get Shine token. As to the timeline for that, that's going to correspond to the total amount of liquidity, and we just aren't quite there yet. Would probably be entertaining that option after liquidity got to about $1 million. So it's close. It's close, and again, we're on track to achieve that here pretty soon.
Yeah, we're almost halfway. The key though is we need a solid liquidity pool before we kind of go down that route. We've got the exchanges already reaching out to us, and we could move forward with that, today. But we really want to continue building some liquidity because what that does is that really just stabilizes the project. And we don't want to do anything right now that's going to jeopardize the long-term success of this. So let's keep building liquidity, and as we do that, the listings will come. They're in the roadmap. We've already got the contacts there. It's just a matter of time.
Absolutely. I truly believe that as well. So someone else asked, why is there a charity tax associated with this coin? Wouldn't it be better to take the extra 2% and put it towards liquidity or miners, at least until the project reaches a healthy equilibrium?
That's a great question, and that's actually a topic that's been talked about between the team.
Yeah.
So the plan for that is we're going to institute a poll to give an option because personally, I think maybe getting off of that could be a good idea. So there's going to be a poll coming up probably within the next week or so to either continue to be a charity function or perhaps a burn. So charity or burn.
Or add liquidity, maybe even, but we want to hear from you guys. We've got our own ideas, but at the end of the day, we really want to hear from our community and kind of what they'd like to see.
Yes, absolutely. So we actually have a bonus question that was submitted by Craig Saint Amant. He asked, is ShineMine hiring?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
It's going to grow. And look, if he's interested in applying, we would love to have you, Craig, because he's very active in the community and he's kind of a bit of a badass. So yeah, man, we are definitely hiring.
Absolutely, yeah. Now we've got a lot of positions that we're going to be looking to fill here in the coming weeks and months, as we continue to grow. So yeah, any inquiries, send it to the info@shinemine.io. As we continue to grow, we'll kind of put some official releases out there as far as what we're really looking for. But anyone interested, go feel free to start that conversation now and get that ball rolling.
Craig said, "Let's go!" Laughing emoji, laughing emoji.
Heck yeah.
So someone asked, why does the smart contract pull BNB only to put some BNB back into liquidity?
Okay, a great question again. So that has been talked about internally as well. And basically, the plan to begin with was to do that. And then we realized that wasn't very efficient.
Yeah.
So we do not currently do that. Instead, the liquidity just isn't pulled out quite as much to keep the amount that was going to go back into the pool just in there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you want to say anything else, Noah?
No, yeah, that's it. We kind of tweaked that early on when we kind of realized the inefficiencies of that structure. And now as we pull liquidity, it is a small portion of that's going towards marketing, but the lion's share of that is going towards purchasing more rigs and growing this operation, and more importantly, growing this reward pool.
Hey. So, do you plan to launch NFTs, and if so, how do you envision this factoring into the project?
NFTs, yeah, I'm going to crayon a drawing of a monkey, and it'll be for sale for $1 million.
That's how to do it,
yeah,
boys.
no. So actually, I'm glad you asked that. We have a couple of cool ideas for incorporating NFTs into the project. A couple of ideas, that have come internally, but also a cool idea that's come from the community as well, Brandon. And it's being discussed, and yeah, that's definitely coming. I can't really give you any more information about it because that is in the works.
Yeah. We can't say too much, but yeah, it is definitely being talked about, thought about, and at the end of the day, if we can come up with a solution there that we really think is going to strengthen the community, strengthen the overall vision and future of this project, you better believe it's going to get implemented.
Yeah, and plus, if it's an idea that could kind of give back to the community who's been a part of us early on, I would love that. Love to create extra value to give to the early believers.
Yeah, so Matt Galliano, our engineering advisor, put a monkey emoji in the chat, so he might want to make a monkey NFT.
I think he just monkeyed around.
I'm just messing. But if all coins in circulation were staked, the price of Shine would never change. How will you encourage a healthy mix of staked and unstaked wallets to sustain the project?
Yeah. So obviously, if all of the supply out there is staked, price won't be going up, but APYs will continue to go up because of the continual reinvestment of the project into itself. You know, we're going to continue to be buying rigs every month. As we buy rigs, that rewards pool grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And if there's no new tokens coming into that, you know, if that's staying constant, then there's just going to be a bigger and bigger pot for everyone to share. The inverse is true as well. You know, if a lot of people are selling out, tanking the price, well, that rewards pool stays constant as well, and there's a lot less hands there claiming rewards. So you can do the math there, and you can kind of see how that rewards pool and those APYs could really get pretty nice.
Awesome. So another question, will the DApp allow you to take rewarded BNB and immediately use it to buy Shine without leaving the app?
That is a great idea that we hope to implement. Yeah. So either you're going to be able to do that immediately. Now keep in mind that the development for the D app is intended to be completed by the end of this month, to go live May 1. So the goal is to include that on there. Yes. But if we can't, and it would only be because of a constraint on time, then the goal would be to include that in an update upcoming.
Yeah, it's that is our goal. You know, to be able to automatically reinvest those rewards daily, weekly, whatever the structure may be, back into Shine. You know, and really just compound your APYs, right? But that is a lot more in depth to develop and build out. We are planning to have that feature functioning day one. But as Adam said, that, you know, that may be something that is released, you know, version 2, you know, a few weeks or another month or two down the road.
Version 2, 2.0, what? But yeah, so okay. Is it worth spending a large chunk of the marketing wallet to gain access to an influencer? I know you talked about that a little bit, that you're looking for people.
Yeah. You know, I mean, yeah, we kind of mentioned that earlier. Yes, it is, and yes, we are. Yeah, so we've already, you know, reached out. We've got a lot of influencers that we're talking with. Some of the big
Musk, the Kardashians, you know, just the normies.
Pay them
Logan
1
Paul.
million per post.
Not yet. No, that's phase 3 of the roadmap, Adam. No, we've already started reaching out to some influencers. Some of the big names on TikTok, YouTube. You know, got some pretty good followings, as well as some Facebook groups and some Twitter guys and gals. But yeah, that's absolutely in play here, and that is the direction that we're going to be going. So we don't want to tease too much yet, but you will start seeing some of that here in the coming weeks.
I know.
Maybe even this coming week.
I was like, can we name drop? Can we give them something?
Not yet. But no, that we should see some movement there very soon.
Beautiful. That's exciting. So someone said, one of the things I love about Shine is that there's no minimum investment required to qualify for mining rewards. Can you elaborate more on how this and other features of your platform differ from traditional mining contracts?
Yeah, so traditional mining contracts are going to lock you into one piece of equipment. Also, they're typically going to try to get you in for a year or for 2 years. They aren't, you know, which is a pretty long time. Ours, though, is cool because it isn't tying you to one rig. So, you know, the operation's always going to be mining, you know, the most profitable at the time, and it's always going to be expanding and getting a variety of rigs, and that's going to be good for everybody involved. Also, it's going to give you options, you know, to be in and out, as you know, much, much, much less than a year. So it's much more competitive than any of the other options currently out there.
Yeah, that's one of the things is that there's no barrier to entry, even our highest level of staking. With a lot of these alternatives out there, if you really want the best tier structure, you really got to have some pretty deep pockets. And solo mining, the same thing. If you really want to do this, you've got to dump some serious change in. But with this, it's really flexible, and that's what we wanted to offer people, was the flexibility. So you can get in with as little as 14 days, which, I mean, in terms of staking, that's nothing. I think we're going to looking at it. Had to be a minimum of at least 7 to even be able to do a timestamp on the contract. So 14 days to 6 months. I think that's really competitive in the space with the actual alternatives. Then the no minimums. You're not going to find that anywhere that offers anything near as competitive as what we're offering. So.
In and out with the bag. They love to hear it.
That's it.
So, what is your roadmap for carbon neutrality? Is there a point at which this will become a more prominent focus of the marketing strategy?
Yeah. So, current roadmap for carbon neutrality is we're going back and forth on this internally. But very soon here, we want to commit, to an actual percentage of our energy use, of our actual energy, committing to use a portion of that on renewable energies. Day one, we're offsetting, through renewable energy credits. But as we continue to grow here, we really want to have a public commitment, to a portion of all energy used by ShineMine for our mining, to be renewable. And we really want to lead the way, here in America, at least. America's kind of taking charge here. You've seen a lot of countries, their hash rates, their mining has gone offline, whether through regulation, whether through turmoil nearby. But America is really stepping up, and they're to the forefront now of the global mining community. And I think that being carbon neutral here and making that commitment, I think we'll be able to be on the forefront of any new regulations that are to come.
Absolutely. And then also it's important to people, it's important to us, and it's environmentally important as well. And so, I mean, beyond it just being, a good marketing ploy, it's actually going to create a positive impact on the environment, because crypto has a carbon problem. It eats up a ton of energy, and so here's an opportunity to lead in an environmentally responsible manner.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely something I think a lot of people are looking towards, because like when you hear negative news, they want to use that as an attack point. So
yeah. Yes. I mean, that's the black eye of Bitcoin. That's what a lot of people, that's the number one and only argument really against it, is the energy consumption. But I think in the coming years, we're gonna see a big push towards some clean energy, commitments, and if we can be leading the way in that, we would love to.
Yeah, and speaking of, that part's not been too big of our marketing wise. That part hasn't been included as much, but the plan is to begin to communicate that more. So just to give you guys an idea,
it's not that we haven't been talking about it, thinking about it, brainstorming, and trying to come up, with a roadmap moving forward here, but it's in the works. It just hasn't been communicated a lot, but it will be. It is a part of our future here at ShineMine.
Beautiful. So Paul asked in the chat, how much to get started?
Great news, Paul. There are no minimums. It could be $2 if you want it to.
That's it. I think the transaction fee on PancakeSwap is somewhere around 22 cents. So
All right, Paul, we know everyone's got $2, so thank you for getting started. Welcome to ShineMine. Be sure to join our Discord and Telegram for updates. So, what is your strategy during the crypto winners and when the price of all coins may be much lower than current prices, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so great question because everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, is crypto going to crash?" The answer, just by the way, for the entire industry is yes, it's going to crash, and then it's going to go up, and then it's going to crash. It goes up and down as it goes up, right? So,
Yep.
but the cool part about us though is that the purpose of the coin isn't the price of it. It's that being invested here gives you an APY no matter what happens that's going to grow in any market.
Yeah. In these crypto winners, when you see the entire market, crashing 70, 80, 90%, yeah, it stinks. If you're a trader, go for it. Trade. If you can time the top, have at it. But at the end of the day, time in market beats timing the market 9 times out of 10. Um, and the beauty of crypto in general as well is when the markets crash, equipment prices crash as well. So our equipment, is always going to be, proportionate. So we're going to be able to continue to grow our operation. And honestly, in that bear season, that's when we're going to be able to grow the operation the most, because those rigs will still be hashing. We've got good low rates to keep our rigs online, and that's when equipment prices is at the cheapest. So we will continue growing year in, year out, bull market, bear market, it does not matter.
I love it. I love it. So in regards, I know Adam, you just mentioned the APY. So I'm just going to add this right now. So in regards to the reward structure, is a 24% APY based on the wallet's value? And so they said, so if the Shine you hold is worth $10,000, are you expecting to be paid out?
Yeah. So the reward structure, the APY is pegged to the current Shine price. All right. Now, if you were able to get in, a month ago and price has risen, and you only put $1,000 in, well, your APY 3 months down the road, if your $1,000 purchase of Shine has 10x, then you're now sitting on a value of 10,000 tokens. With $1,000 initial purchase, with $9,000 of unrealized gains, your APY is going to be calculated on the current market price. So the APY you're getting, is 24% on that 10,000. So that's $2,400 a year. Now, if you want to look at your initial investment and calculate the APY on that, you're making 240% APY on that initial investment.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that's the.
and then it's all right. Speaking of the APYs too, it's also important to understand that the APY is estimated and it's going to continually change based on the profitability of the operation, also based on the token price as well. Because if the price goes lower, then again, it's great because the interest is going to increase and yields are going to increase, and so that number, is going to continually change as the operation grows.
Yeah. I mean, the best strategy here, get in early and hold. I mean, it really is. As we continue to grow, you're just going to see those APYs increase and compound, especially, if the token price is rising as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. So someone said phase 2 has a goal of 1,000 holders. What is the target date for that?
Yeah, so that is the 90-day mark. That's kind of what we planned our phase through 2. Phase 1 was kind of pre-sale and launch. Phase 2 kind of takes us up to that 90-day mark. Right now, we're on pace, if not slightly ahead of schedule, to hit that. So I think currently we're at 330 to 360, somewhere in there, amount of holders. We've been live now 31 days. So yeah, by that end of that 90-day mark, we are on pace to hit that 1,000 holders and hopefully blow that mark out the water.
Awesome. So we have come to the end of our submitted questions. Is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
Yeah, I just want to add how much I appreciate the entire community, for being engaged and for being active and for attending this AMA. I just can't tell you guys enough. I'm so optimistic about all of this, and this is going to be great, guys. Just appreciate and love y'all.
Absolutely, man. We really couldn't have done this without you guys. This started just as a dream that Adam and I had, and it has grown into this awesome, team, awesome community that you see here today, and we're just getting started. So, thank all you guys, and let's hold on for the ride.
Yes, I love it. So earlier I mentioned Discord, Telegram, so be sure to join those and visit our Facebook. Well, you guys are on Facebook, but our Instagram page, ShineMine, and our website, of course, is shinemine.io. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Brandon and Greg. Okay, someone actually just asked, where should I store Shine if not on Trust Wallet?
Trust Wallet's a great place to store it. I think if you wanted to do, a cold storage, that is an option. Just make sure it integrates with BSC tokens. As long as it integrates with BSC tokens, you'll be able to put our Shine token on there. But any decentralized wallet, it's a great place. You can put it on MetaMask. Coinbase has a decentralized wallet. Don't go to Coinbase. Don't send your tokens there. They will be lost. But they do have a decentralized wallet, Trust Wallet. Any decentralized wallet's a good option. But cold storage is an option as well.
Beautiful. Well, thank you.
But number one, I will mention this. Number one place to keep your Shine tokens is going to be staked on our website when that D app comes out.
Hey. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you to our investors, and please share the project so we can get that liquidity up, and God bless everyone and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Absolutely. Thank you.